Hey, I'm Chris from 30. Thanks for tuning in to another one of our YouTube previews. So today we're lucky enough to be up at Vango headquarters looking at the brand new range of AirBeam tents for 2020. So every year we look at what's new and what models are new and what updates they've got. So we're going to take you through the range and show you what it's all about. Alright, so we're going to start this year's review in the Experience range, which is kind of Vango's more affordable range of airframe tents, and we're going to just talk through what's new. So they had the Experience range in last year. They made some sort of bigger changes. Actually, it was brand new for last year, so they've just sort of minorly adapted some things, which makes they've kind of done some little tweaks and updates, which makes the tent a whole lot better for living in and for being in. So what have they done? So they've made the windows, they've increased the size of the windows, so you're getting more light into the tent, which on a bad day, if it's raining, it's a bit more comfortable to be living inside of the tent itself. Last year as well, they had zips on the outside, so when you wanted to pull the curtains up, you had to go all the way around the outside and do them up, and then they had mesh in the actual full windows. They've taken that out, which in my opinion is a good thing. They've dropped the vents and they've put them beneath the windows, and then they've put the curtains on the inside. As you can see, the windows themselves are a lot bigger, letting more light in. As always, they've got the mesh in the front door when they've got a vestibule door running across the front of the tent. So that gives you a bit more ventilation and through flow of air. The windows internally, they're massive, so it's good sized windows. You've got a door running through on the left. They've increased the size of this door by quite a lot as well. So this is a large space to get in and out of. They've put the drop down flaps on the both sides to give you, again, access in without tripping up or prams or wheelchairs coming in. But the major story really on all of the tents this year is the new darkened bedrooms. So these are called the sundown bedrooms. So what they've done is they've still got this breathable fabric in the bedroom itself. So it still breathes. You're not going to get stupidly hot in there. It still is kind of breathable. You've got the mesh at the back that isn't too big to let too much light in, but what they've done is they've dyed them to a very dark colour, and this does give a much better effect of being darkened in the bedrooms. You're going to sleep longer in the morning for sure. I mean, I've had these done up and they do go really dark inside, comparative to what they were in the sort of lights out inner, which they were advertising. What they've also done to create that more darkened effect, they've put the fly sheet material over the top of the bedroom. So where you can see this is the grey material over the main bit, which lets more light in. Over the bedroom section, they've really darkened it up and put that fly sheet material over the top of that. So the model we've just been looking at in the Experience range is brand new this season. It's the Stargrove 450. Now, we had the Stargrove 600 last year, and it was a really good seller. It was basically a tent that came in full air, in a good size. You've got the bedroom, the living area, and this sort of outside area with a front closing porch door at a really reasonable price. Now this one, 450, comes in at 550 quid, which now for the spec you're getting, the size you're getting, and kind of the livability of it is, in my opinion, is a really good size. So you've got all of Vango's kind of sort of patented technology. So you've got the AirBeam airspeed tubes with the really good valves. You've got the TBS running through it. You've got the mesh on the doors. The mesh on the front door as well, so you've got a bit more airflow through on that, which you can do up separately. You've got the toggle up curtains, you've got the ventilation, like we talked about. You've got the darkened bedrooms, you've got the flap down front porch door. So there's lots and lots of features in this that really give it a good price for its size, basically. This also comes in the 600 that we've done this year, but with the improvements we talked in at the beginning. Now 600 comes in at 650, so again, really good price. We've talked a little bit about the size of it, but you're also getting the villa construction, so you're getting a more upright pole, more standing room, and just generally the size and style of this tent, just looking at it, comes in, it really looks good and definitely fits a customer. That we get a lot of questions sort of saying, do you do like a couple's tent or a 2 or 3 man family tent with a bit of living space, a bit of outside space? This definitely is the tent for you guys. Okay, so through all the Experience range, Vango use the same fabric. They call it Sentinel Active. So Sentinel Active is a 3000mm hydrostatic head, so very waterproof. It's going to keep the water out. It's fully taped seams. Again, no water's going to be trickling through the holes that they make when they're sewing. It's all taped. The actual grading of the fabric, so the thickness and quality of the fabric, is what they call 62.5 grams per meter squared. So it's the equivalent of what other brands might call a 75 denier fabric. So it is sort of the more price conscious range. So it is slightly thinner than your other fabrics that we're going to talk about later. But what Vango do is they don't call it denier. They've tried to come away from that. And the reason being is that they use the same consistency of thread throughout the whole tent. So what you're getting is a 75 denier tent with consistency. We're talking about when you take the yarns and the threads, there might be differing measurements in the thickness of the fabric. With the Vango, you're getting a consistent fabric thread. Okay, so through the experience range, we've got the Lumley Air. So this basically kind of replaces, well, it does replace the Amalfi, but it has dropped down into their sort of more affordable range. So you're coming in, you're not getting the colour lock fabric, so it's in the green fabric, it's in the Sentinel Active fabric now. And it comes in a 400 and a 500. The one key thing I would say about this is, in its previous form in the Amalfi, maybe it was a little bit expensive for how big the tent was and how, because of those extra features. So they've just tried to pull the price down a little bit on it by taking the fabric down a notch and sort of taking down a few of the features. So this now comes in a 400 and a 500, a 400 at 430 quid and the 500 at 480. Now I think the Amalfi was coming in around 650, so you're getting a good saving, and I think that price tag suits this size of tent a little bit better. Obviously you're getting the darkened bedrooms in the back, you're getting all the specifications that we've just talked about. One little extra that they've put in the Lumley is you've got this underneath the rain canopy, you've got this little mesh panel, again just trying to get as much airflow through the tent as possible. Moving on to the Alton. So the Alton, again, it almost replaces what was the Capri range. Now you might not know what the Capri range was, but it's again a very good value for money air tent. So they're taking a few features off of it. So you've got the fiberglass pole at the front rather than having air, again reducing the costs, and you're just making it accessible for, this is a 400, and then you've got this is the 500, and then you've got the 4-man available as well. You're losing things like the pre-bent beams, so this is very much like the beams come straight over, so you don't get the feeling of so much room in this tent, but you are getting the features like the TBS, the doors on the right. You're not getting mesh on this door panel, but you are getting mesh on here. So in general, just a very good size and very good value for money tent. So like I said, the Alton comes in a 4-man and a 5-man, so the 500 and 400. 500 comes in at 450 and the 400 comes in at 400. So price wise, they're spot on for a kind of beginner camper that wants a nice size and is kind of looking for something of good value. One thing I would say about this is, compared to, if you did know the Capri, they have increased the size of this canopy, so there is a bit more outside living area, which does give a little bit more sort of livability to the tent itself. So moving on to the Longley. Now this is where I think some of the improvements that they've put into the experience range really come into the furore. This one has always been a little bit of a kind of Marmite model because it's the vis-a-vis. So it's got 2 bedrooms on one side, 2 bedrooms on the other, living area in the middle. Now the one thing that's given this a little bit more life to the tent, I think, is the bigger windows, because before, when you walked into the living area, it always felt really small and claustrophobic and quite dark. Now it still does give that effect, but if you are looking for a tent with bedrooms at either end, sort of stick the kids up one end and you're the other end, and you want to be away from them, this is the ideal tent. It's very quick to put up, it's in a tunnel formation, it gives you lots of room, and with the extra sort of windows that you're getting in it and the extra light that's going to come in, you do get a bit more feeling of livability and living area. Some of the features that you're getting in it, obviously you're getting the TBS, you're getting the darkened bedrooms, you've got the drop down flaps on both doors, so you've got 2 doors entrance, you've got the toggle up curtains on both these sides, so you've got some privacy. You've got the villa construction, so you're getting very upright poles, so there is quite a nice bit of sort of headroom and space inside of here. The toggle bedroom dividers, and then you're getting mesh on, I think it's just the 1 door, so you've got mesh on this one and no mesh on this one. So yeah, just a single mesh panel on that one, but you are getting ventilation underneath the windows. So this is the Winslow 2 Air, which has had some updates. Now we've always done quite well with the Winslow, but it's more of a price conscious sort of tent. It comes in at £400, and personally, looking through the range and looking what it offers, you've got the one next to us at £400 in the 400 model. Now this gives you a canopy, full living area and bedroom. This gives you a cheese wedge front door with the living area and then the bedrooms at the back at the same price. So I kind of think this will, it doesn't really, because it's such a price conscious market, I think people, and I personally think if I was going to get a tent, I'd be much more interested in the Alton than I would with the Winslow. So I'm going to skip over this one just because I don't think we're going to do this, just because the price point's not right. However, something that is new and is kind of exciting for our range is the new Sky Air. So for the last couple of years, we've been asked for something that's a little bit smaller, a little bit bags, like the smaller bag size really, to take away in a quick and easy pump up version. This is the Sky Air 400, it comes in a 500 as well. And coming in at 300 in the 400, I think this is a great size. So for that person that maybe does want the Air, so it's quick and easy to put up, not bothering with poles, it's going to survive lots and lots of wind, you're going to be looking at 300 quid for this, which I think is good. It could be a festival tent, it could be just a quick and easy pitch in a field for like a weekend. It's kind of, I mean, it is obviously not full standing height, but it just gives you a very livable space at the front. You've got a door on where you're just there, no doors here, windows at the front, and then what would be probably maybe space for a double airbed and a single airbed. I mean, you could easily fit 4 people in here if you're sort of pack them in, but maybe is a sort of 3-person. But I think this is a great size for that person that looking for something small pack size, going maybe to a festival and just want something quick and easy to put up. Okay, so we moved from the Experience collection, now we're into the XL collection. So we've got lots of new models to show you, but first off, obviously it's different colour, which means different fabric. So what are you getting with this fabric? So you're moving from 62 grams per metre squared into 68 grams per metre squared. So the fabric's getting a little bit thicker, so you're getting a little bit more longevity, a little bit more quality. It also goes into colour lock, which means that the UV doesn't degrade the colour so quickly, so it doesn't turn quite so, the colour of the tent doesn't change quite so quickly when it's pitched in the bright sun. So for a couple of months you don't see that colour change. It's also a 4,000mm hydrostatic head, so you're getting an extra metre on the waterproofing rating, so again less water is likely to get in, fully taped seams and completely fire retardant. So some of the improvements in the XL collection from last year, like I said earlier, it's not huge improvements, they've just sort of tweaked them and added some little extras. But the main talking point, I would say, is probably the new midnight bedroom. So you had the sundown bedrooms in the Experience collection, you're now getting midnight bedrooms. So they've gone darker. And how have they done that? Come into the tent and we'll have a look. So same with the sundown bedrooms, there's still a breathable liner. So they're not going to be stupidly hot at night. There's still a mesh sort of breathable liner, but they've actually used a dark fabric for this. They haven't just dyed the previous fabric, they've used a blackened fabric, so they are a lot darker when you step inside them, and it's very noticeable. I mean, going into this bedroom here, you know, you can really, I mean, it goes real dark real quick. I mean, just from an experience from the previous ones last year with the lights out, that's definitely a much more darkened experience inside of them. You've also, over the top of all of the bedrooms, like I said, you get the fly sheet material, so it's darker inside of it rather than this lighter grey material. With all of these, you've got the toggle up bedrooms, ventilation under all the windows, and then you've got the SkyTrack system being introduced into this range, where you can obviously hang lights, you can hang skyliners, roof liners, to give a bit more comfort to the tent itself. Curtains at the front. And like as always, when you've got a porch door, this is a mesh section giving the airflow through the tent, and then a full open canopy section on the front. Okay, so we just had a walkthrough, but the actual tent itself is a kind of classic that's been brought back into the range. It wasn't in the range last year. This is the Diablo, and this is the 800 XL. So the idea of this is it has 3 pods. So again, you can separate different, sort of if you've got children or you've got different people that you want to separate through the back of the tent, but it still gives you a nice big living space with a porch canopy area. So you've got the 3 bedrooms, 3 pods. It gives you flexibility inside as well. So you've got this section here that could be your wet area and your storage area or your cooking area that you can totally open up. And then just, sorry, I know we've been in already, but you've got drop back bedrooms with windows in it, so that when we were talking earlier about the vis-a-vis style rooms where you kind of get that, lose that sort of feeling of comfort in here because it's quite dark, the idea of these is you can drop these bedrooms back to reveal a window, which gives you a lot more light into the into the tent itself. The windows, if you're worried about the darkness in the evening and the morning when you're sleeping, they've got a little curtain that can come up as well to give you a bit more sort of darkened bedrooms during the morning when you're trying to sleep. So great size, really nice living area, space for 8 people, so 2, 2, 2 and a 2 with a middle divider in the back bedroom, and the ventilation, like I said earlier, ventilation through underneath all the windows. This actually works on the AirBeam system, and it actually works with a central, so you've got 4, like a spider sort of style of AirBeam, and they pump up as a 1, and then the other beams around the side of them pump up extra. So quick and easy, simple, big tent pitch. Okay, so moving on from the new entry into this year's range, we're moving into a real good product that we sold this year. So this has had some updates and some good updates. This is the Valencia. So it was a real keen tent for us this year. Everyone loved it, all the customers loved it due to some cool features that it has with it. Firstly, some of the updates. So this one's had a much bigger front AirBeam, so you're not losing space in this front porch, which last year you were. The other updates that have gone through the other tents in the range is these bigger windows. So you've got much bigger, deeper window. It's slightly thickened as well, so the creases fall out of them a little bit easier. Still got the toggle up curtain, still got the Sentinel Dura fabric, but just a general tweak on the kind of updates on the windows just to get a bit more light in it. So as always with the Valencia, we did a review on it last year. You've got this front porch area made bigger by the bigger beam in the front, the villa construction, so loads of room inside, feeling of space throughout the whole thing. Moving into the living area, so you've got the mesh panel with the curtain running down it. You've got the front door, there's no mesh on this because you've got the mesh panel here. Side door, which does have a mesh panel to it, and then TBS running through all of the whole section as well. Pitched as a tunnel tent, and then moving into the bedrooms, you obviously get these midnight bedrooms in this, so darkened by a lot. You've got the toggle dividers, so you've got a 2, 2 and a 2, but the idea is this middle bedroom is slightly bigger to fit a bigger double mattress. So they've rescoped the bedroom sizes a little bit just to give a bit more room. But the key selling feature for the Valencia was this storage space at the back, which everyone kind of loved. It's also a little bit of emergency exit, so you can get out the back quickly. I don't know if you need to get to the toilet or do whatever you need to do, get out. So you've got an exit at the back, or if you just want to be storing stuff, so you parked up, you've pitched your tent and you want to be putting your backpacks or all your bits that you want out of the way, you can just shove them in this back space here, which gives you a real nice storage space. Or if you want to use this where you put your toilet or anything like that, there's plenty of usages for it. So on the back here, you've got a door that is slightly vented. There's no mesh on it, but it does give you a kind of doorway out. And then this covers the mesh panel that gives the bit of airflow through the tent itself. So great seller for us this year, really popular, and I'm sure it will be popular again for this year. Another update that it's had as well, the carpet now comes as a carpet specifically for this tent, which will allow for the extra bedroom to be pitched in this area. So you could make this into an 8-man tent if you buy the optional inner. You'll also see that in this they've pitched the skyliners, which you can get extra for the tents. So skyliners, they add a little bit more comfort to the tent. They stop the condensation building up on the top, keep a bit more heat in, and don't allow the moisture to get onto the top and drip down on you. So a little bit more extra comfort. So standard again with all of the XL collection, you get these webbing straps on the front, so storm straps basically. They're pre-attached, so there's no clip on and off, but it does give you a lot more strength and stability in the strong winds. So now moving over to a brand new product in the range, which has taken my eye quite a bit actually. I really like it, and really the key feature, I mean this is called the Roam. It comes in a 550 and a 650. And the key feature to me is the little storage section you can see on the side there. So it comes with all your standard features that everyone loves. You know, you've got your bedrooms at the back, you've got your living area, a nice big living area as well. So you've got 2 poles worth of living area, and then a front porch area. With the updates, you know, you've got the bigger windows, which makes it look really, really livable, nice inside there. You can imagine sitting in there and eating your dinner if it's not very nice inside, get plenty of light in, feels really nice and light and airy. And then, like I said, with that extra little storage unit, which a lot of customers have been asking for, they just want that little bit of extra space to put things out of the way, clutter. Talked about that in the Valencia. They've done that at the back. In this one, they've just put it on the side. The Tahiti 800 XL had that this year, and it was one of our best-selling tents. So I think that will be a really good option for it. Standard features, so you've got the rain-safe canopy on the door entrance on the side, so not letting rain into this sealed area of a Sonian ground sheet. You've got the TBS, you've got the toggle up windows, you've got the sky tracks running through it, you've got the double section living area, so it makes it seem really, really big. You've got the midnight bedrooms in them, so that, again, like that big story of just being totally dark inside the bedrooms. This one comes in a 2 to a 3, so obviously the 550 is giving living space to 5 people, but you've got plenty of space in this section here for a big double mattress, and then if you've got kids in this one, you've got easily space for two separate ones. In the door section here, you have got a mesh door lining that you can pull across, and then your standard door that just seals everything off. And then, like I said, the key feature of this really is the storage space. So separated by a nicely designed little curtain, you can open that up, and really you can use that for what you want. You could have the toilet in there if you've got your porta potty, or your storage area. You've got in here, you've got your little wardrobe, you've got some hanging clips, just getting all your clothes and sort of storage packaging out the way, really, so all the stuff you've brought with you, just in that little extra section to the side. Really great idea, I like it. So that comes in the 550 and the 650. The 650 is just that little bit wider, giving a bit more space for an extra person sleeping. And then coming into the porch area, so with all these tents, you're getting the cable entries, you're getting the mesh ventilation underneath the windows, and then your nice big area at the front here that you can just relax in. You've got plenty of light coming in. Like I say, you've got the really deep windows, just providing so much light and an airy feel. You've got your curtains that would toggle down, and you could just imagine sitting in this and relaxing. Okay, so last year we loved this tent. This is the Azura 600 XL. There's not really much more to say about it than we did last year. You've got all of the same fabrics that we've just talked about, all the same features, but basically you're getting a very, very good value for money tent. With full air, there's no fiberglass poles involved, you've got all the sky tracks, you've got a section at the front here that you can obviously relax in, you've got the porch area, you've then got the double space living area, so plenty of room inside of it. You've got all the sky tracks, the curtains, the mesh, you've got the mesh on the front door. There is no mesh on the side door on this one, but you've got the ventilation underneath the windows, and then you've got your pod at the back that will give you space for 6 people, with some dividers coming with that as well. You get your TBS, but generally, I mean, other than the fact that we talked about it last year, we've sold it this year, everyone's been super happy with it that's bought it this year. It's just a very good value for money tent, coming in at kind of sub £800, which makes it really good value for money. So turning around, we're just going to have a quick look at the Capri Air 500 XL. Now this has been in the range for us for quite a long time. The Capri is great because it gives you a big feeling of space. You've got that really pre-angled beams. The only thing I would say is maybe the price has crept up a little bit on it, and for something that's offering no front, canopy area, fiberglass pole, might just be eclipsed by a few other tents that we've looked at this year. We've actually just looked at a new brand with very, very similar features with a slightly higher spec fabric. You can have a look at that video if you just click on that one underneath if you like the sort of size of this tent. But I mean, in general, it is a very good tent. We've never had any problems with it. It's always gone down very well with the customers. Lots of living room. This is the double spaced area in the living room. You've got the canopy outside, and then you've got room for 5 people at the back with a 2 and a 3 section bedroom. But all the standard features you would get in the XL range in a good sized tent. Okay, so we're moving on to the Elite range now, the Elite range of tents, which is their sort of top of the range, their hero products, the ones that sort of come in at a slightly more expensive price tag but have all the bells and whistles and the really super duper fabric. So before we start, there is a little bit to know about the fabrics because they are a little bit confusing because they're all in the same colour. So last year we did the Tahiti 800, it was one of our best selling tents, it was in the green colour. So they now moved it into the grey colour to kind of match all the other Elite tents, but it is in a slightly different fabric. So in the Elite range, there's 3 different fabrics. So there's a Sentinel Signature fabric, there's a Sentinel Pro fabric, and the Sentinel Exclusive fabric. So the Exclusive is what the Tahiti's in, and that comes in at 102 grams per square meters, which is kind of the equivalent of what we would call 150 denier, but a very high quality 150 denier. It's a 5,000 millimeter hydrostatic head, comes fully taped seams, really, really high quality. It's got the colour lock, UPF 50 plus, and just, yeah, it really will keep out anything and it will last you a long period of time. Then you go into the Sentinel Pro fabric, which is what the Anantara is in and has always been, or the illusions of the sort of times, and that basically comes in a double ripstop and is very slightly bit thicker, so that comes in at 106 grams per meter squared, so slightly maybe like a 200 denier, but it comes with the double ripstop. So again, longevity, comes with the color lock, the UPF rating, and that comes in at a 6,000 hydrostatic head. And then you've got the Sentinel signature fabric, which is basically the polycotton. So the Anantara TCs, the Illusion, what was the Illusion TCs, so they all come in the polycotton, which is the breathable one. So if you're going away on a long period of time, or you want a tent to last you for years and years, it's like that old traditional canvas that breathes, lasts a long time, doesn't get particularly affected by the weather, and very high quality. So within their elite collection, it's all their top fabrics, and they've put them into the different models. So we'll talk about the models, and I can just update you on what fabric's being used in which one. Okay, so the tent we've been standing behind is a huge model for us last year. It's the Tahiti 800 XL. It's been really popular, really well received. It's got all the bells and whistles. It's got the new door system. You can obviously get in through the front porch, through the door, into the main section. This is actually pictured with a filmed with a front extension on it. So this zips on. I mean, if you wanted to, you can carry on zipping extensions on extensions, and then at the end you could put an awning. So the awning has the front door, so it has a door to it. The extension doesn't have a door, it's just an open section, and then the canopy is actually, that's the sun canopy to our right, so that's what fits on as the sun canopy, just to give you an idea. They all zip on. So like I say, this comes with the door in the actual porch area, so it's a really neat entrance system. You've got an aluminium pole, so a nice technical feature on the side with the rain safe door. Walking into the porch area, you've got your front door. Again, lots of different ways to open this door. You can have a look at that on our full Tahiti 800 XL review. So you can change that into 8 different types of doors. You can have it half open, third open, quarter open, all sorts of open. You're getting mesh on these doors as well, so plenty of airflow through. You've got mesh on the front section with the curtains. This door will totally open up and give you a full, massive, huge living area. You can get comes with the bedroom drop down, and you can pitch that if you want that extra 8-person room. Otherwise you've got a 2, 2 and a 2, and then on the side here you've got another section. So actually, if you wanted to, you could have 10 people sleeping in here. These are all the midnight bedrooms as well, so nice and dark when you're getting inside them, keeping the light out. But yeah, it's just a huge space, and a lot of space for people to sleep as well. Side door over this side with the mesh on it. You've got the zip up windows and curtains with the mesh ventilation underneath it. You've got all the sky track. You've got the villa construction, so huge, loads amounts of room to kind of stand in it. This is a little pocket organizer just hanging on the sky track, just giving you an example of how that hangs. And yeah, just a massive space. So to give you an idea, this is where the zipping. This is where the sewn in ground sheet starts. It's flap down front as well, so it's easy in and out. And then this is where the extension section is to the tent. Okay, so moving from the Tahiti, we're just going to quickly look at the Ventanas. And also actually as we go, we've got this new windbreak that's come in. So this is an air windbreak, which is super sturdy, super strong. Packs down into a fairly small sort of size bag. Gives you the option of getting a windbreak up really quick and then utilising the guy lines to keep it sturdy. Really good option if you've got a sort of like an Anantara style tent and you want it to match up, then really good option. But this is a Ventana 600 XL, so I'm not really sure where it fits in the range actually with this one. It's a 6-man. It's in the Sentinel exclusive, so it's the same as the Tahiti 800. I'm guessing it kind of works in where the Tahiti 600 XL was, but that's now no longer in the range. And they've put this in, and they've given a little storage area. So like in the Rome that we talked about in the XL collection, you're basically getting a small storage area to the side of it, which makes sense. It's a 6-man tent with the extra storage area. Got all the same features as what we just looked at in the Tahiti, where you've got the side door that comes through. You can have a zip-on extension or awning or sun canopy like is pictured in this one. And you've got the rain-safe door coming through into the porch area. You've also got the door in the far side, big front door. The door in this one, not like the Tahiti, it doesn't come all the way over. You do just get this space to walk through, but still pretty wide area. The door will go into thirds or into halves, so a slightly different door version to what we looked at in the Tahiti, but still a lot of light coming in. And then walking into the main living area, again you've got those midnight bedrooms. These, like with all of this range Sentinel exclusives, same with the Tahiti, these go into your zipped dividers. There's no toggle dividers, these are all zipped. And then you've got a zipped doorway on this side with the mesh and pelmets running over the top, so you've got some little pockets running through those as well. Mesh ventilation, zip up curtains, super beams, so thicker than your average beam. So you're moving into this collection, same with the Tahiti, you're getting thicker beams, stronger beams, therefore a bit more sturdy in the windier conditions, which is quite important, especially with the size of this splay. You know, we're talking 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.4 meters wide. It needs these stronger beams to keep it up and in the sort of, if it were to be a windier conditions. And then, like I said earlier, with the side of these, you've got a little storage area. You could use this as a toilet area. You could put your wardrobe in it, tuck things away that you don't want to be seen. It just keeps the tent a lot tidier. So moving from the Ventanas, that's the only one in that style, over into the Sorento Air 500. So to me, this, I don't know, it's not their best model of tent. I mean, it's a 500. It's quite expensive for what it gives you. Like, this is 800 quid for a 5-man capri basically in a slightly specced up fabric, and I kind of feel if you're paying 800 quid for a tent like this, you'd almost either step up, maybe go polycotton, or maybe go into the kind of the Azura range where you get a full air canopy front and you've got a bit more room in it. This to me does seem a little bit the kind of in the range it doesn't really work. I mean, the things you do get with it, obviously you get the better fabric, so you're getting that kind of exclusive fabric, you're getting mesh side doors, you're getting full beams, not the bigger beams though. Yeah, and the darker bedrooms, it kind of doesn't make sense in the range, I don't think, this one for the price. However, moving over into the next range, and again, huge tent for us this year. It's been really well received, very popular. It's had some slight updates, so the actual tent itself, the colours changed, so you've got a slightly darker panel at the bottom, which again leaves away, so if it does get a bit dirty around the bottom of the tent, it doesn't show quite so much. It's slightly darker in colour. Nice little update. Again, you're getting all of these webbing straps at the front. You're getting webbing guy lines on this as well, same with all the other ones that we've just looked at, so it's not the thinner ropes. But the main difference between this and the Tahiti, so very similar shape, is the fact that this comes in the Sentinel Pro fabric. So with this fabric, you're getting a slightly thicker, more specced fabric, and you're getting this ripstop, double ripstop to it. So it just improves the fabric, it improves the life of the fabric, it will improve how long it will last with you for. It just makes the longevity of the fabric a lot more. So just walking into the tent itself, same fabric on the ground sheet, same super beams. You got 2 entrances and exits on this side, so you've got the mesh and the panels on, and that's on both sides. You get mesh on both sides on this one. You can fully open this front door here, so that can totally come up. It's very similar to the Tahiti, but just in that different fabric and without the side panel door. Okay, so moving over from the Anantara Air, you're moving into what would be the equivalent really of the Ventanas that we looked at, but this is now in the Pro fabric. So you've got the ripstop fabric, you've got the 2-panel door at the front, you've got the double living space, you've got the porch at the front, you've got the 6-bedroom sort of split at the back, you've got a door on only the one side, and then zip up curtains. You've got all the fancy stuff that you get in this level of fabric. The only thing that it really depends whether you really want that extra fabric in and it's really a price comparison really. It's like whether you want to step up that extra to buy this in the better fabric, or whether the Ventanas is kind of at your level really. So it gives you the options. It gives you the options for that slightly thicker fabric, but very similar to shape to the ones we've looked at before. Okay, so moving over into their real flagship models, you're moving over now into the Anantara TC. So the same shape as we've looked at in the Anantaras, but we're moving into their technical cotton. So they call this the Sentinel signature fabric. So the idea with polycotton, and we've talked quite a lot about it in the past, the technical cotton, is it's basically an active fabric where it's kind of got a weave that's fairly open to start off with, and whilst it's open it allows an airflow through the fabric. So if you were to walk in this on a really hot day, you would feel quite cool in it. It's like walking into a sheltered area, kind of like a bell tent or some traditional canvas style tents like those big frame tents you used to have, whereas in a polyester tent it does get very hot. There's no breathability through it other than the venting. The actual fabric does the venting in this. So when it then rains, those pores swell up, the fibres swell up, and they close together and don't allow water in. So it's a really, really clever fabric. It's a blend, I think it's about 25 to 30% of cotton and a 70 to 65% of polyester. And the idea being it just gives you a real soft feel fabric, a really, really long lasting fabric, and a very breathable fabric. It also keeps you cool, so like I said, it keeps you cool when it's hot, but it also keeps a bit more of the warmth in when it's a bit colder. So it's a very multi-use fabric. We sell a lot of these to people that are going down travelling into France where it does get very hot, or into Europe. It is quite a big thing in the market now, this technical cotton. So there are a few more options coming out that don't include the air, that we'll show you in a little bit, that give you the pole version, so a little bit more, when I say affordable, these are quite expensive because they're big tents with all of the bells and whistles. So if you did want a technical cotton in a slightly sort of more affordable price, there are those options nowadays as it's getting more and more popular and people are seeing the benefits of the technical cotton. So let's walk into the tent. So this is, we talked earlier about the awnings, this is the front awning, so where you've got that front porch area and you've got the front door. That zips on to the main part of the tent, which starts here. This has got that Anantara door, so you've got that 8-part closure that you can do. You can have it in lots of different stages. You can have a small entrance here, you could have it halfway, you could have it all the way, or you can have it all the way open like it is at the moment. Then you've got the door into the side, which is again mesh. You know, you've got, like I say, you've just got all the extra features in this with a rain safe canopy, with an aluminium pole. And then walking into the main part of the tent, this part here, again, you can totally undo that to give a massive living area. It's a dual sectioned living area. You've got super beams in it that are very upright in the villa construction, so give you lots of space in it and keep it nice and stable in worse and adverse conditions. You've got some skylights in this as well to let some more sort of light in, and the windows zip up right to the top there. This is featuring the Skyliner, again giving you a bit more comfort, taking away a bit more of the condensation that might get into a tent. And then you've got the doors, mesh and mesh on both sides, in and out. You've got the TBS system that you can pull up and give you a bit more structural stability there. And then at the back there you've got the deep sleep bedrooms. So these are even darker. This is the darkest ones they do. It's still in the mesh fabric, but very tall, all zipped, and just a good space in the back, but keeping it nice and dark for when the morning comes and you want to stay in bed for a little bit longer. Okay, so moving on from the Anantara TC500, if you want a slightly smaller version, you don't want to be carrying around that. These are quite, the polycottons are, or the technical cottons are quite heavy. I think the Anantara comes in around 65 kg, so got a wheeled bag, so you know it is a manageable size. But if you want something a little bit smaller, you know, you want that sort of breathable cotton, you want something still big for the family. This is the Kavala TC. Really good size. We've always done really well with the Solace. The Solace didn't come with that front door and was a little bit narrower. This one comes with the front porch door. You've got space inside here in that sort of really popular bedroom, living area, porch door area, and giving you the space and comfort of a technical cotton tent without it being too massive. Still got the villa construction, so it feels big inside, plenty of room to relax. You've got the side storage door, so you've got plenty of space to put things out of the way, keep your tent nice and tidy, or use it as a toilet, whatever you want to do. You've got the door on the left there that gives you an exit, quick and easy. But just plenty of space to relax, and all the bedrooms at the back there. Okay, so last in the Elite range, in the Elite collection, we've got the Utopia. So, like I said a minute ago, they've dropped the Solace this year, and sort of seems like they've concentrated a lot on those three-stage sort of tents where you've got the bedrooms, the living area, and then the porch. I think this is going to be the key seller for those people that want to go away, don't want anything too big. Couples, for instance, that are going to go away on a European trip but haven't got too much room in their van or their car, but they want something that's going to be nice and comfortable to live in for a couple of days, don't want anything too big to put up on the campsite. This is going to be absolutely perfect for them. So this is the Utopia. Comes with the front canopy pole, sort of eyebrow pole in aluminium, so standard in this sort of level. It's the technical cotton, so like I was saying, nice and comfortable in the cooler conditions, nice and comfortable in the hotter conditions. Moving inside, some of the features, so you've got a mesh door and a normal door. You've got the standard windows because you've got no front porch door running down it. With this one, you've got the front porch strapped in the webbing. And then moving into the back, you've got this living area, which is a single space living area. So like I said earlier, you're not getting huge amounts of room in here, but it is comfortable for a couple or a family of 3 or 4. And then you've got the darkened bedrooms at the back, and that comes in a zip divider in a 3 and a 2, so you could comfortably fit a double big air bed in there, and then if you wanted to use this as storage or another bedroom for someone coming along, then you could use that. But this one really does give the option for that couple going away and don't want anything too big. Zip up windows, vents on that side. There is no other door, it is literally just one entrance in and out. Got the sky track like in all of them, and the pre-bent poles. This comes in the slightly smaller beams as well, because you've not got that massive sort of spans of space, so not needing the huger beams to support it. This is the Farley TC500, so it comes in the signature fabric, but it is part of their XL collection. It comes in at a really reasonable price. Now I know it's fiberglass poles, and I know it's going away from our AirBeam preview, but I just wanted to show you everyone the options that are now out there kind of coming through in the technical cotton, and to show the success it's had. So Farley TC500, it comes in realistically just about standing height. Comes in a much smaller bag than the ones that you'd sort of be using to take away with the AirBeams. So for those people that are going into Europe, who are touring, haven't got all the space in the world in their car, this is a really great size for you just to pitch up at a campsite, put it up, not taking up too much room. It's not too heavy. It's got all the features of a technical cotton tent, where it will be nice and cool when it's hot outside. You've got the tension band system running through it. You've got the darkened bedrooms. You've got the toggle up windows. This side door that you can get in and out of. There is no extra mesh on any of this, but because it is a technical cotton, you will find the benefits of it being nice and breathable. It struck me as a really good alternative for someone going away, travelling, or being in the hotter climates to utilise and use. And personally, for me, I go down to France quite a lot, and this sort of tent in a French campsite or European campsite would be a perfect size, and it fit perfectly in the car. I think it does tick a lot of boxes, and so I just wanted to bring your attention to it. Okay, well, thanks for watching our 2020 preview of AirBeam tents. I hope you found it useful. If you've got any questions about anything we've talked about today, then please give us an email or give us a phone call at the shop. All the details are on our website, www.30.co.uk. If you found the video useful, then please subscribe. If you've liked it, then definitely like it. It all helps on our YouTube journey. But thanks again for watching, and have a good day.